What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to be looking at Sword and Shield booster box supply on the secondary market, and to start off, we're going to be looking at battle styles because, again, I'm not going to be showing you guys everything in the spreadsheet. I need to respect people that are already in there, but if you want access to the spreadsheet, link in the description down below. I'll show you guys a couple things though. Battle styles. First of all boxes were up this week again. That shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody. Battle styles is still under $200, $198.09. 20% leg up would be $237.71. There are 90 boxes below that price point, and that's something that's important to point out. Same thing with sell-through rate, up to 5.29 boxes per day. That gives you about 17 days of remaining inventory remaining. And I believe last week we had about 120 boxes of supply for battle styles before a leg up, and they were selling about 2.29 or 2.3 per day. So we've definitely had an increase in the amount of battle styles booster boxes selling over the past 7 days, and that shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, as all of these other Sword and Shield booster boxes have also seen an increase in the amount selling over the past 7 to 14 days. The next one I'll touch on quickly before we go into kind of the more interesting sets. Astral Radiance. This box on TCG Player, 336. And again, this is kind of why this week is kind of a transitional week, just because TCG Player's graphs kind of take a while to catch up to where the overall market is when we have a leg up like this that's super fast. Most recent sales on TCG Player, if anyone's curious, 3 boxes sold at $440 essentially. If you go to eBay, and we take 336, a 20% leg up would be 403.34. There are 0 boxes listed below that on eBay. And I believe the lowest box is $410 USD before shipping and tax, and it has a lot of damage to it. So this is kind of just like a side note too for anyone who does eBay. This is a really bad listing. Like, I would imagine someone posting this could have a lot of issues potentially when they sell it in the future. I would call this more than just a slight tear in a booster box. And if you look at the other photos, it is definitely not in great condition. There's actually damage to the box itself. And these photos aren't terrible, but just not great photos. Like, get the glare out of some of these and, I don't know, take some higher quality photos. I imagine it would be very possible for a buyer just to look at this first photo, and if they're doing it on their phone or something, not notice this and then just buy the box, and then you have to deal with returns essentially. Just not ideal. But outside of that, I think the next box is about 420 USD, and this one's in good shape. So that's kind of the baseline at this point for Astral Radiance on eBay, is around $420-ish. And there's a couple there, maybe one at like 415 too down here, a little bit lower, and then it jumps right up to around 450. So not a ton of Astral Radiance still on the secondary market. It's still very plausible that a set like this could jump up to like $500 out of nowhere. I don't think that's going to happen. I think a lot of these boxes are going to start to stabilize over the next week or so. And I think when we look at this on the 21st and the 28th, we'll have a better idea of what's going on with secondary supply. This week's kind of a bit janky, just because we're catching the tail end of the leg up and how many boxes were being sold. So the rest that are blanked out, I will kind of still touch on them. A lot of these boxes, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can guess, there isn't as much supply out there as there was in previous weeks, especially your Fusion Strike, your Brilliant Stars. Those were still the lowest, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone considering when we were tracking those. Those were normally the lowest supplies outside of Astral Radiance, which you already saw. So Chilling Reign, interesting spot right now. To me, it's really interesting that this box is selling for less or right around what Brilliant Stars is selling at this point. For the longest time, Brilliant Stars was in that $285 range when Chilling Reign was like already $340, $350. Even last year when this box was like $200, Brilliant Stars was in that like 180, 170-ish range, maybe even 150 at times. So Brilliant Stars has always been behind Chilling Reign, and then just out of nowhere, Brilliant Stars is passing Chilling Reign. Maybe part of that just has to do with people enjoying opening Brilliant Stars more. Maybe it has to do with just the amount of supply on the market. Remember, Chilling Reign got a massive reprint. Same thing with Fusion Strike. Who really knows? Either way, they're selling about the same price now. Something that's selling a little bit higher, Lost Origin. This is selling probably closer to like $600 on TCG Player now. It's really fighting to try and break through that price point, $598, 585. Those are both from today. Yesterday you had sales in that like 560-ish range. You had one down to 510 on the 12th as well. So it really is tough to tell with Lost Origins because there aren't a ton of sales on TCG Player. I will say, just based on the data I pulled from eBay this week, if Lost Origin continues to sell at the rate it's selling at, which again, that might not be super likely because I think a lot of these boxes will slow down a little bit. But if it does continue to sell at that rate, we would see this box hit $600 fairly quickly, just based on what I'm seeing. So whether that's going to happen or not, time will tell. Silver Tempest, same sort of deal, interesting spot. Probably like mid threes, trying to fight towards that 400-ish range, but probably won't get there within the next month or two. I think it's going to be a while before we see Silver Tempest stabilize over $400. Evolving Skies, this is probably one of the most interesting ones outside of Fusion Strike and Brilliant Stars. There's not a ton of boxes out there. When we looked at this box over the past like month or so, there was a lot of individual sellers that had a box or two up on eBay. And again, you guys that already have access to the spreadsheet, you can go in there and look. It's already in there right now. And you can kind of make up your own mind where you think this box is going. Fusion Strike and Brilliant Stars, just to end on these could honestly still keep going. They really could. If there was any boxes out of like all of these alternate art sets that I had confidence in to continue climbing like over the next couple months, maybe not an insane rate like this, but out of all of these, I would say it's these two boxes that have the best chance to continue going. But even if that doesn't happen, we've already seen insane growth on a lot of these. So I mean, look, like Fusion Strike's already up to $700, Brilliant's over $400. It's so wild to think back a couple of years to where a lot of these boxes were, how nobody was picking them up, how so many of them, actually I think all of them probably, except maybe Evolving Skies 2 years ago, were still in stock on the Pokemon Center at MSRP. So you could have bought all of these for like 148, 140, maybe like $150 after tax and shipping, which is difficult to fathom at this point based on where we're at. So there's a little update for you guys. Final thing I wanted to touch on too, based on yesterday's video, Paldea Evolved, I think it was like 267 yesterday market price. It's now up to 277 on TCG Player, and you have sales into the low to mid 280s today. So I'm just keeping an eye on that. I really do think we're going to see a $300 sale, probably on Friday when Mayhem happens. And by the way, guys, if you are planning to buy anything on TCG Player on Friday and you want to help your boy out, links in the description down below as always. Again, thank you to you guys that already support the channel. I know a lot of you guys do use the affiliate links, whether it's for eBay, Hobbiesville, TCG Player, Cardboard Hero. It helps out a lot. It's at no extra cost to you, and it helps me continue to make free content for you guys. So thank you again. Thank you for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. And one final thing I do want to mention, because I know some people, I got a couple DMs about people being upset that I blurred out a lot of this. If you want to see the One Piece data, this will be the final week on the secondary channel. Tonight, I'll be showing all of the One Piece data on the secondary channel. So if you want to see the update for this week on One Piece, it'll all be there. I won't be blocking out anything. And we're even going to be including EBO2 because that came out last Friday. So that'll be on there as well. So again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.